What's up, Taiwan? I'm Staś Butler with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Google says it will invest almost $10 million to support digital news in Taiwan. The leader of the project praised Taiwan's journalism as some of the freest in Asia.
We have to recognize that Taiwan's special, and I said it inside earlier. Taiwan's a special place. The Taiwan news industry is so unique in that it's probably one of the freest.
The company's Taiwan News Digital Co-Prosperity Fund is designed to expand the reach of Taiwanese news outlets and boost audience engagement. Google says quality journalism and access to information are vital for a free society, and it sees Taiwan as an important model for the world. The company has recently come under pressure in other countries to pay local media for content shared on its platform. Last year, Australia became the first country to require that tech firms pay news outlets for using their content. In Taiwan's courts, several top judges will be retiring later this year when their terms expire. The question now is who should choose their replacements. Eric Gao reports.
These are Taiwan's 15 grand justices, and these 4 will soon be retiring. Their single 8-year terms end in October, and under the law, it's now up to President Tsai Ing-wen to find their replacements.
我要请我们的审监小组广纳人才，倾听各界的建言，让我们一起为社会推出最专业、最优秀的4任的人选来咨请立法院同意。
If confirmed, the new judges will take office in November. At that point, all 15 grand justices will have been appointed by President Tsai. While judges are meant to be impartial and free of political interference, this has raised concerns about the neutrality of the country's top judicial officials. And the fact that the appointments will come in President Tsai's last year in office is also raising eyebrows.
蔡英文总统真的不用说马上就提好提满，还是要有一些的一个名额或是额度，可以留待下一次民意选出来的新任总统再来做一个提名。
Opposition parties are demanding that the nomination process be as impartial as possible, threatening to block the appointments otherwise. For some, the situation highlights how the current Grand Justice selection process carries the risk of political bias in Taiwan's top court. A number of politicians are now calling for the Constitutional Court to reform the system to prevent this possible outcome. Kama Xu and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Wednesday was International Women's Day, but Taiwan has fewer women in work than Japan, South Korea and Singapore, and the results of a recent survey offer some answers why. Joyce Zheng has the story.
Women make up over half of Taiwan's total population, but only a little more than half of them work formal jobs. The National Development Council reports that Taiwan's female labor participation rate is lower than some of its Asian counterparts, namely Singapore, Japan, and South Korea. A recent job bank survey identifies 3 major challenges keeping women from joining and staying in the labor force.
会因为所谓的工作跟生活两头烧的状况哦，那第一个就是因为生育来中断他们的职涯，年纪大了再回到职场的时候，他发现他自己的专业可能已经没有办法跟上现在所谓的职业上的一个需求。
The survey also showed companies underestimate the amount of stress working women experience. Working women self-reported average stress levels much higher than what companies assumed they were. They said this stress came from feeling like they were performing below expectations and financial struggles to meet ends meet. Officials are now looking to get more women working as the country continues to tackle chronic labor shortages.
在目前来讲，餐饮住宿业的缺工是最严重的，那将近有20万个工作数。那其次呢是电子资讯跟半导体产业，那大概有来到16万跟17万个职缺数。
Taiwan's critically low birth rates and aging population have also been major problems for its job pool. But to encourage more women to work, both the government and companies will need to explore ways to create family-friendly workplaces. According to the survey, flexible working hours and job qualifications and more caregiving subsidies would help get women who are interested in working back in the office. Ricky and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Meanwhile, in Europe, throughout the war in Ukraine, charities have been driving in and out of the country to ferry people and deliver goods. Leslie Liao met with one of those organizations, one that puts the emphasis on women.
Elżbieta Yarmulska goes by the name Ella. She's a small business owner and founder of Women Take the Wheel, a Polish charity that gets women drivers to bring goods into Ukraine and people out.
So I just popped into my car and I said to my husband something along the lines that I'm going shopping or whatever. And I drove to the border without knowing what I'm gonna do there.
Ella realized the need for women drivers when she first drove to the Polish-Ukrainian border. There, she saw dozens of men offering rides for people escaping the Russian invasion. She thought her help wouldn't be needed, but as soon as she offered a lift to Warsaw, 3 women took her up on her offer.
It dawned on me that if I was a woman without my husband in a foreign country, not speaking the language, there's a war in my country, I'm with my only child with a suitcase, cabin-sized suitcase, because that's all they were able to take. I would be terrified to get into a car with a man I don't know.
After her experience, Ella took to social media to rally women together.
Yeah, I just posted on Facebook that, girls, let's take the wheel. And they responded like crazy. The girls, grandmas, daughters, mothers, immediately they understood what it is about, that they put themselves in a position like this, and they knew that this is needed.
Women Take the Wheel did not stop at the border. It began driving into Ukraine to deliver goods and aid.
So the women in our group are shockingly brave. And, I only drove in, 300 kilometers inside the Ukraine from the border. The other girls go to places like Kharkov, Kherson, Odessa, Mykolaiv, Nikopol, Bucha, Kramatorsk.
And with so many cars, drivers, and goods going in and out of Ukraine, that requires a lot of help.
We have over 2,500 members in our group. So this is not only about drivers, because I need to also appreciate great women that coordinate, find accommodation, etc.
Ella has a property that she's turning into a shelter. When she's finished, it will house over 80 Ukrainian women and children. She's also looking to provide the women who eventually end up here with classes and job opportunities to help them get on their feet. Ella's work has impacted her life in unimaginable ways. Her daughter Tosia became best friends with one of the Ukrainian children that stayed with them. Tosia was also inspired by her mother to set up a school for Ukrainian children who end up in Poland. And the family adopted dogs from Ukraine too. To do what Ella and her drivers do takes bravery, drive, and compassion, traits that are vital for getting through rough times. And it's during these rough times that they're taking charge, because as Ella puts it,
women not only behind the wheel, women actually take the wheels.
Leon Lian and Leslie Liao in Piaseczno, Poland for TaiwanPlus.
No snow fell on Taiwan's highest peak, Jade Mountain, for the first time since records began. The Central Weather Bureau says average temperatures this winter were the 3rd highest in history. Before this year, the latest snowfall had fallen on the mountain in central Taiwan was in late January. That was in 2019. Global temperatures are rising because of human-caused climate change, and that's been linked to more erratic weather patterns that can mean less snow and ice on Taiwan's mountains. And in another sign of unusual weather, a shrine has appeared in a reservoir in northern Taiwan after a lack of rain caused water levels to drop. The shrine to a local god known as Tudiong is one of the water level markers at the Shimen Reservoir in Taoyuan City. The man-made lake is now less than 70% full. Taiwan's Water Resources Agency says it's not worried about water supplies in the region for now, but the country's south is in the middle of a months-long drought that's taken a toll on farmers and wildlife. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of the colourful Holi festival in India, celebrating the arrival of spring. I'm Staś Butler. Take care and see you next time.